Good afternoon, this is Darno from BMW and Porsche of Ocala. Just want to take a moment to go over the two vehicles that you've selected. You have the 2018 BMW X5 and then the 2017 Porsche Cayenne S E-Hybrid. These two vehicles are very similar but very different at the same time. I just want to go over some of the features on both. That way you get to see what each has to offer and make an educated decision based on that. I'm going to start with the 2017 Porsche Cayenne. This is black with the black interior. The SE Hybrid means that it's the Porsche Cayenne S with the electric motor. So you have the 333 horsepower V6 supercharged engine with the electric motor that produces 95 horsepower and 229 pound-foot of torque, which is going to give you a combined horsepower 415 horsepower with the two motors working together. Both the Cayenne and the BMW X5 are very unique in their segment because they're a little bit more performance driven than a lot of the competitors. If you look here in the front of the Cayenne, it's going to be hard to see, but you have active flaps and the air intakes up front. That's going to actually help control the airflow where it needs to go. As a standard option, you have the 4-point LED daytime running lights with the xenon headlight. This vehicle is a platinum edition, so it has a couple extras as standard. This vehicle does have the parking sensors in the front and rear as standard option. Inside the headlight, you're going to have a cornering light so that you can see better when you're turning. This does have the 20-inch RS Spider design wheels. You get the very unique acid green trim all around the hybrid models. Going around to the back, you have your 4-point LED brake lights with a full LED tail light. The power tailgate is standard. You do have the quad tips letting you know that it is an S model. The hybrids come with the necessary equipment for you to charge it. The good thing about this hybrid is the full parallel hybrid, meaning you can plug it in or you can just let the car charge on its own. So it'll charge while you're decelerating or braking. Here's the cable that it will come with. You can plug it in at home. Batteries underneath here. The seats in the rear fold down. It's a 40-20-40 split. You can bring the center down or either side down. You have a privacy shade here that's very easy to remove. The tailgate is adjustable in height. There's a button here that'll close the tailgate, but when you want to, you can pull it down to the desired height. And then you can press and hold this button and the vehicle will chime, letting you know that that height setting is stored in the memory. Going to the inside of the vehicle, you have the partial leather interior, which means that you have the Alcantara in the center of the seat and then the leather on the outside of the seat. You have the Porsche crest on the headrest, which is part of the Platinum Edition. There's a handle here so you can actually bring down the seats. Once they come down, they lay flat. What's really nice about the Cayenne is the seats are, they're buckets, so they kind of wrap around you, so your passengers will have extra comfort in the rear. You have vents in the rear for your passengers. This has the Bose surround sound system, which sounds absolutely amazing in the vehicle. You have the 8-way power seats with the driver memory settings. So here you got 2 buttons for the memory settings for your seats, the steering wheel, the mirrors, and then you have a key button that'll actually save all your functions as well. You can fold in the mirrors with this vehicle. Going inside, you'll see the acid green is on the instrument gauges as well. It gives it a very unique look. There's a gauge to show you how efficient you're being You have the TFT display, which has multiple displays that you can view. I have it set right now so it's showing you the actual charge that's on the car and how far you can travel. You have the touchscreen PCM with navigation as standard on the Cayenne. With that, you'll have access to the map here, as well as in the TFT display here. Yeah, the TFT display is quite a bit. This is your regular menu, which is a vehicle menu. You can access your settings. You can set timers on here. You can check your oil. You have your radio stations, your navigation, which will show you turn-by-turn directions when you're using the nav, but when you're not using the navigation, it'll show you your previous destination. That way you're able to select it without having to go into the system to do so. And then you have your map, your phone function, so once your phone is connected, this is going to show you your call history as well as your phone book and allow you to dial out from there. You have your trip computer, individual tire pressure, and then the battery flow, and then the actual energy level here. If you go down and look at the center cluster here, you see you have your climate controls on the left side of the shift lever, and then on the right side as well for your passenger. There's dual zone climate controller standard. These vehicles are all-wheel drive, so this button here is going to be for your hill assist. So if you're going on a steep decline, you hit that button and the car will apply brake pressure, control the gearing, and allow you to go downhill at a safe speed. This vehicle is equipped with the PASM sports suspension, so you can actually switch the driving modes for the chassis. So you have your comfort mode up here. You have your sport mode and then your sport plus. Then you have the sport mode for the engine and transmission here. You have your e-power and e-charge. So when you start the car, as long as there's a sufficient charge, you'll always start in the e-power mode, which is going to be your full electric mode, and you'll drive on the e-power until the battery is drained, or it'll kick in on the gas engine as you're driving and your foot hits a certain level on the throttle, or you go to exceed the speed limit for the electric mode. If you hit the e-charge button, this is going to now utilize your gas engine more and use the gas engine to charge the battery as well as the braking, so it charges faster. You have a sunroof up here. All the controls you need would be up top. And now we'll go take a look at the X5. Okay, here's the X5 xDrive 35i. Up front you got your signature kidney grills, which is not only good looking but functional. It's to help draw in air. BMW, just like Porsche, is all about doing everything, like I said, performance driven, so everything serves a purpose. So all of this is to help the car breathe better. You have channels in the air curtain, as they call it, up front, which will actually direct air around the car and direct air to your braking system. As a standard option on the X5, you have the LED daytime running lights with the bi-xenon headlights, and they're adapted by xenon, so they'll turn the auto level, and then you have LED fog lights as standard. With this being the xDrive, it means that it's the all-wheel drive version of the X5. It's a very sophisticated all-wheel drive system. Works a little bit different than most. You can transfer up to 100% power to the rear. With this being the 35i, has a twin power turbo inline 6 that produces 300 horsepower and 300 pound-foot of torque. You have full LED tail lights and brake lights, just like on the Cayenne. You have your dual exhaust in the rear, again, give you a very sporty look. This vehicle is equipped with the backup camera. The parking sensors are standard on the vehicle. And there's the power tailgate. There is a little difference with the tailgate on this versus the Cayenne. On the Cayenne, you can adjust the height of the tailgate for one from the tailgate itself. On the X5, you do it from the xdrive, which I'll show you once we're inside the car. You do have two buttons here. One is to close the hatch. The other is to close the hatch and lock the car. So if you were done driving and you needed to close the hatch and lock the car instead of fooling around looking for a key, you can just hit the button here and it'll actually close the hatch and lock the car. You do have a privacy shade, just like the Cayenne. It's very easy to remove. You do have a 40-20-40 split with the seats back here, so you can use the center as a pass-through or put either side down. You do get this lower portion of the tailgate on the X5. This will support up to 550 pounds. We supply all-weather mats on all the BMWs, so you'll have the all-weather trunk mat here. Underneath here, as long as you don't have the temporary space saver spare, you'll actually have extra compartment space underneath. So you do get a little bit more cargo space this way. You have a track here, so if you wanted to tie something down, you can. They have little hooks on it. A 12-volt outlet in the rear, and that's on both vehicles as well. This has the comfort access, and because it's an SUV, this is, or BMW calls it SAV, you have it on all four doors. So if you look here, you have notches on the door. That allows you to actually to lock the car. So you touch here, the car locks. You put your hand inside the door handle. Using the sensor that's in the handle, the car unlocks. Now the key has to be in range for that to function. You have the black leather interior. This vehicle does have the 4-zone climate control, so you'll have the dual zone up front and dual zone in the rear for your rear passengers. And then you got two 12-volt outlets back here in case your passengers needed to charge anything. You have these nice openings in the door, one for a bottle that you can fit in there as well. Okay, going up front, you do have the power seats with the memory function. There's two settings on the driver's side and two settings on the passenger side. The nice thing is, with the BMW keys, you can actually store all the information on the key. So let's just say you were sharing the vehicle with someone. As long as you unlock the car with your key, it will revert the car back to the last settings that you had in it. So going inside, you have your gauges here. And there's a button on the side stalk so you can cycle through the options here in the center cluster. You have a very nice display here. This is the new xdrive. As of 2017 on the X5s, the xdrives came with touchscreen capabilities. In 18, they changed the layout so you can customize the main screen, which would be this one, and you can have whatever blocks you wanted to have on there. So let's just say you can monitor when your car is due in for service, so you can drag this over and put it there on the main screen. That way you don't have to actually search for it. All your climate controls are laid out right there for you. Everything's easy to use. There's a lot of unique things that BMW does with the xdrive and their system. Everything's very user-friendly. It's an 8-speed automatic. You have your driving dynamics control here, so this will actually change how the car operates. When you start the car, it starts in comfort. If you press the down arrow here, it goes into the Eco Pro mode. So you see it changes the instrument cluster. And then if you go up, you go back into comfort. You go up again, you go into the sport mode. You have an electronic parking brake. Both vehicles have the electronic parking brake. You have an auto hold function, which both vehicles have as well. For the BMW, you press this button as long as you have your seatbelt on. Once you're in drive and you come to a complete stop while utilizing the auto hold, the car will stay right where it's at, keeping your brake lights on for safety, and then you just hit the accelerator when you're ready to go. On the Porsche, it works a little different. You just mash down on the brake as hard as possible, and then it'll activate the auto hold function. You have these keys down here, which most people assume are for the presets, but if you look up here, you'll see that it shows what's assigned to each key. Now, it's a little different. You do have a preset setting in your media, but that allows you to store 40 presets in your media setting, so you're not limited to just the 8 that are here. What you can do with these keys, which is really nice, is actually store essentially whatever you want. So if you wanted to, your phone was connected, you want to store someone's phone number, so you can speed dial, you could do that. If you wanted to store a certain destination, you could do that. If you wanted to have access to a specific screen, such as checking when your service is due, you could store the service screen to one of those keys. The navigation is phenomenal in this vehicle. Very easy to operate, just like the rest of the system. Using the iDrive knob here, you just turn to zoom in and out. You can inputting directions, you can use voice controls, or you can manually put them in. What they've done to the iDrive controller, this top part is now a touchpad, so when you're putting in a destination, you can use the top of the touchpad, again, voice controls, or you can use the dial so you can actually select something. And it's in the position where your arm is relaxed and you can just operate the system while driving. This has a panoramic roof. So you open up the shade is nice and thick on these, so it allows very little heat to come through. Really opens up the interior having a panoramic roof, and it'll tilt up as well as slide about halfway back. Okay, let's go out and take one more look at both vehicles. Both are extremely nice choices. I'll be sending you the information that you requested. Hopefully you enjoyed the videos and helps you make the decision. Thank you very much, and again, this is Darnell.